The death of actor Philip Seymour Hoffman has raised new awareness of heroin use and abuse in the United States. Randy Kay rides along with a DEA agent to get a first-hand look at drug activity.
It's broad daylight in Philadelphia, so it's plain to see this heroin deal in the making.
But if you look at some of the people that just left, they're all addicts. So they're in the neighborhood here. They're looking to cop to get their fix for the day.
And not just on this corner. As DEA Special Agent David Dongili drove us around, we saw dealers and addicts at nearly every intersection. He showed me the tiny bags the heroin is sold in, under street names like Bud Ice, White House, even DEA. And the buyers? Anyone from high schoolers to housewives. Dongili says most of the heroin here is coming from Mexican cartels. It's a cheap fix, just $10 a bag, and so easy to get. Here's how it works. The dealers have guys on the street they call lookouts.
Once a buyer walks down the street, you'll have those lookouts direct them, hey, they're on the corner of 6th and Marshall.
Lookouts aren't just for buyers, but police too. Some are in cars, honking their horns to alert the dealers. Watch what happens when we show up.
As you can see, people walking away. This right here are several drug dealers on the corner.
They're on the move.
They're moving. You see this guy moving? You see these guys moving down the road here? All right, we got to look out. This individual here probably is looking to cop bags of heroin, but
those guys just ran, basically.
Yeah, they're running. They know we're here.
Agent Dongili says Pennsylvania heroin is the purest east of the Mississippi. But that still hasn't stopped some dealers from mixing it with drugs like fentanyl, a powerful narcotic often used to treat cancer patients. Just last month, 22 people died from heroin overdoses in western Pennsylvania. All of it had been laced with fentanyl.
Fentanyl is extremely dangerous, extremely potent, and 2 to 3 grains of salt, just to put it in perspective, of fentanyl mixed in with heroin could kill a seasoned heroin addict.
And they don't tell you it's in there.
They don't tell you it's in there.
Agent Dongili's team recently seized over 12 kilograms of heroin worth millions of dollars on the street. These are evidence photos of just some of the heroin and weapons they've picked up. But dealers are going to extremes, like this woman, police say, was selling heroin in McDonald's Happy Meals. $2 for the toy, $80 for the heroin. Those extremes and creativity are only making Dongili's job harder.
Sometimes they'll have small amounts on them, and sometimes it'll be hidden. It could be hidden in that mailbox, it could be hidden underneath the car, it'll be hidden in a corner. Then they'll go and re-up the amount that they have on them. So they never take a chance to lose their product.
Randy Kay, CNN, Philadelphia.
So obviously that kind of profiles the problem in Philadelphia, but it's not a new problem, and some of our viewers might remember, Robert, you did an investigative piece 15 years ago.
Well, Plano, Texas made national news back in the late 90s when there were more than 24 heroin overdose deaths by middle-class kids, and that's what was shocking everybody. And what we found, it was something called black tar heroin. The kids did not know it was heroin. They heard it was just this black tar and maybe a new thing. We also found drug dealers that were lacing marijuana and other drugs they were selling with black tar to get the kids addicted because they knew they had a steady line of customers. But we did a documentary and a series of specials in which we tracked it from the poppy fields of Mexico all the way to Plano, Texas. My colleague Alan Berg, he went across the border. He did that part. Alan almost got killed there. Caught out filming near one of the poppy fields and was harassed and car stripped by a group of Mexican soldiers who were actually there protecting the cartel. What we found was that it was highly, highly pure. That's why these kids were dying, and it was so plentiful they weren't even cutting it down. You know, usually they'll mix in baby powder or this sort of stuff.
Yeah, just stretch it out.
But they literally were walking it across. The dealers that we focused on would literally walk it across in hollowed out heels of boots and other things, and having people, and would take the buses up through Texas distributing it.
Why did they wind up targeting the one high school? Did you ever determine, was it one dealer who found an outlet in the Plano area?
It was a dealer from connected one of the Mexican cartels, he and his buddies, and they were living in McKinney, and it was just a geographic area.
Convenience.
Yeah.
Was it because it was more affluent at the time?
Yes.
Yes. That's what I wondered.
Also, the drug was so plentiful that they weren't even having to break it down. They had so much of it, they were just getting it. And, you know, they had later they ran an undercover sting on him, and we interviewed the DEA agent who'd come up to sting them. The guy bragged. Somebody was asking me, well, how pure is this stuff when they were taping? And he said, hey, I'll tell you how good it is. It's killing all those kids. That's how good it is. And so he was using the kids' deaths as a selling point of this is how good my...
The dealer.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is how good my black tar heroin
is. It your impression that heroin is a chronic problem and always has been? We're only now talking about it because of the death of someone prominent like Philip Seymour Hoffman, or has there been an ebb and flow? Is there a cycle?
I think there's an ebb and flow, but I do know from covering it, and we talked to a number of addicts and everything, it is incredibly addictive.
Yeah.
It will haunt you all your life. The other thing that struck me from what Alan did across the border, he came back with video and stuff of where this stuff is made, and you know, this is not in FDA-approved facilities.
Oh, of course not.
It is the dirtiest, filthiest, nastiest, and you're like, you putting that in your body?
Right.
You know?
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah. So, and by the way, one of the interesting things here in Plano, the Plano police, they did an interesting thing. Their chief hit it right ahead on and said, we have a problem. And they started pursuing these as murder investigations.
Really?
Yes. Of going back to the dealers.
As well they should have.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, when we come back, we'll have more. So stick around to the Texas Daily. We'll be right back.